Acho, what is the biggest takeaway from Dak's contract?
Man, that Jerry Jones be just throwing away money.
Oh, stop.
If I'm being real, Sal, if I'm being real, look, man.
Why are you looking at me when you say that, too? Oh, see, okay.
Look,
I earned my keep.
How in the world do you franchise tag the man and then backdoor and pay the man $160 million the following year when he gets hurt on the tag? Like, Jerry, you had actually everything to your advantage. You tagged Dak Prescott. Unfortunately for Dak, but fortunately for Jerry Jones' pocketbooks, Dak Prescott stumbles into an injury this year. And now you have Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, who's supposed to be the best backup quarterback in the NFL, and Jerry Jones, you still end up, after all these years, paying Dak Prescott some ridiculous amounts of money. That's my largest takeaway. But my second biggest takeaway is very simple. The time is now for Dak Prescott to truly prove what everybody has made him out to be. Everybody has acted like Dak Prescott is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I think they just speak without actually thinking and without actually looking at the tape or the stats. Well, my takeaway is now, Dak, you getting #1 money. You getting elite money. It's time for your play to match your pay. You've been good. It's time for you to be great. If some think you've been great, it's time for you to be excellent. You don't get $160 million to go 8-8. You don't even get $160 million to go 10-6 and lose in the playoffs. You get $160 million to go far. The time is now, Dak Prescott. Let's see what you got.
For me, the biggest takeaway is not so much from a performance standpoint or even the dollar amount. Obviously, the dollar amount is huge, but it's all about Dak Prescott and him believing in his ability. And that was my biggest takeaway, man. When you truly believe in who you are as an individual, don't ever let anybody underestimate or diminish your value. And that's what Dak Prescott did not allow the Dallas Cowboys to do. Even with being franchise tagged, even with getting injured, as you alluded to, on the franchise tag, he still knew his value. And every day he looked into the mirror and he knew he was going to work to make sure for others to understand what he saw in him. And so that was a message even to me. When I look at you, Acho, when I look at your ascension, even now, you believe in yourself to get to where you are, hosting The Bachelor, in that position, in that seat. Marcellus, the same with you, going to Columbia, and all of the success that you have rendered yourself, it's because you believed in you. And so when I watch Dak Prescott and I see this contract, yes, it's awesome. And what he's been able to afford the Dallas Cowboys on the football field is great. But what he is going to add to that team as far as his value and his belief and believing in who you are as an individual, that's going to pay huge dividends.
Greg went there. Let's preach up in here. Let's preach, Fred Hampton. Okay, my biggest takeaway was exactly what Greg said. Bet on yourself, man. And this is going to take me back to my childhood years because I've always bet on myself. And I haven't always won, but I always bet on myself. I'd rather lose betting on me than even sometimes win betting on you because I can't depend on you. Here's the thing Dak Prescott understood through the ups, through the downs, through all his trials and tribulations, that Dak Prescott's going to be there for Dak Prescott. So that's why I got to take care of who? Dak Prescott. I remember growing up, and my grandmother, Medill, used to always take us to church. And before we went to church, we would go right by the grocery store and get her some sweet potato pies and stuff so she could take it to church. And I remember sitting in church, and I'm not getting religified on y'all right now, but I'm going to tell y'all what I learned in there. I remember the pastor saying that God says, have faith. And you got to have actions with those faiths, because faith without action is death. And I was like, damn, we in church and you talking about death? And I remember he said, the devil is always at work. And I was like, faith, action, and work. And he says, the devil doesn't wear red, but only the first time. After that, he comes dressed up as your desires. And then he said, I said, whoa. Acho, you ain't the only one grow up in church. I said, whoa, the devil comes dressed up in my desires. He was like, yeah, whatever you want, the devil gonna wear it. And he's gonna try to distract you from your greatness. And he said, God said, believe in you, because God's in you. And then he said, if you believe in you, which is believing in God, and you have the actions, things will work out. But if you let this world work on you and distract you from your greatness, all of a sudden things won't turn out as well as they should. Dak bet on himself because he knew how great he was in himself, not only in faith, but in action. So now Dak is living the way you
I
supposed to.
see you, Sid.
I had to say it.
He got that sermon on cassette.
Yes!
He replays that sermon every Sunday. He ain't been to church since, but he gonna keep replaying that one same sermon. I respect you, Marcellus.
Thank you very much. Boy, you should see how the devil dressed now. It's a Jimmy G reunion.